Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today in our Monsters of the Multiverse coverage, we're going to take a look at the updated player race, Centaurs. Okay, if you haven't already, check out the playlist in the description. We're putting everything in there. Pay attention to that. Join us over at FryMinis.com. We've got links for everything there too. So Centaurs are probably not my number one pick for a race, just in theory. The whole horse person, I get it. Like it's a real world kind of mythological race. And if you want to play one, like cool, go for it. But I don't know that would be my my first pick. So okay, let's take a look at Centaurs. Okay, first though, how in the comments, I want to have like a little mini poll. How does a centaur wear pants? Is it like the forelegs or the back two legs? What happens if you do the inverse of a centaur and you do 4 human legs and a horse? I don't even know. I just think it's so goofy. It's so goofy. And like with magic items, with boots, if you find a pair of boots of speed, are you okay to just wear 2 if you have 4 legs? I mean, I guess mechanically, but logically, your back legs are moving faster than your front leg. All these like little tweaks come up with such an unusual player option, but whatever. Centaurs gallop throughout the multiverse and trace their origins to many different realms. The centaurs presented here hail from the Feywild and mystically resonate with the natural world. From the waist up, they resemble elves, displaying all the elf varieties of skin tone. From the waist down, they have the bodies of horses. Okay, another thought. So these centaurs are Fey themed, right? Elf themed. What if there was like a whole version of centaurs that were kind of like the tiefling of centaurs, or the bugbear, where we have, instead of like the elf or human on the top, we had a totally different monster? What if it was a half horse, half minotaur? What do you call that? I don't know. I think that could be interesting to explore, like devilkin centaur, where it's like a nightmare on the bottom, and then I don't even know. I think these are silly. Okay, and again, just like all the other races here, we have the same stat array, same language situation, size, age, all that is the same across the board. Digging into the actual traits, you are a medium Fey with a 40-foot walking speed. Okay, so 40 feet, of course, you got all these legs. It makes sense that you're able to use them to go in a faster speed than a normal human, for example. And Fey, I think we've got quite a few Fey races at this point, so it's not shocking to see a non-humanoid type for a player race. And with Fey in particular, I really don't think it's that big of an impact. There aren't that many spells that is going to impact you differently here. So if you were to do something like an undead, or I guess even a construct, that would be a more significant change in how one player can interact with the rest of the game rules that are designed around humanoid creature types. But Fey, it's not that big of a deal. Now, lore-wise, you could have all sorts of fun here. Charge. If you move at least 30 feet straight toward a target and then hit it with a melee weapon attack on the same turn, you can immediately follow that attack with a bonus action, making one attack against the target with your hooves. See, this is cool. I really like this. First of all, I like that it's only 30 feet, not 40. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room when you're setting up your charge. I think that's really nice. You go in, you make your attack, and you don't have to use like all your, if you have extra attack, you don't have to use all of them. Just hit a one, and then you run in and you right on it with your bonus action. I think that makes sense. Just like with what an idea of playing a centaur would be. I think mechanically, you just get this extra bonus action. I think that's legit. I think this is a really good feature. How often are people using it? It's a different question. But if you were to set up a, especially like a fighter, one that's maybe not using its bonus action all the time, easy. You can use this all the time. Well, not all the time, but you can run around, just bounce, 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 bounce around the field. I like it. Equine build. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push or drag. In addition, any climb that requires hands and feet is especially difficult for you because of your equine legs. When you make such a climb, each foot of movement costs you 4 extra feet instead of the normal 1 extra foot. Okay, so first thing with this, note that it's different than powerful build. You're not getting the lift difference. So I don't know what that means. So push and drag, but not lift. I guess that implies that you're using your hands to lift something. But if I'm a horse, I'm probably gonna try to get something up on my like spine, on my back, to like lift up like that. And there, you know, I've got 4 legs. I should be able to lift more. So not a big deal. Kind of strange, but not a big deal. But this climbing thing, I remember when the Centaur was first published in one of the older books, and for 5e, and they were trying to figure out what to do to climb. And I think with the Unearthed Arcana, there were a couple different versions, maybe, and ultimately landing on it just costs you 4 extra feet instead of 1 extra foot. I think is an interesting way to go. So before, with that extra foot of cost to move up 5 feet vertically on a ladder, it was going to use 10 feet of your movement. And now it's going to cost you 25 feet of your movement, right? 4 plus 1 times 5, 25. I think that's right. So you cannot in combat go up a ladder. Like, this is just so that way, like, you're not trapped forever and you mechanically have a way to get through things, but not in a graceful way. I would love to see this role played, especially if you have like a My Little Pony action figure or something that you're using, and make it try to like climb up the ladder. I think would be hilarious. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. Hooves. You have hooves that you can use to make unarmed strikes. When you hit with them, the strike deals 1d6 plus your strength modifier bludgeoning damage, instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. So that hoof attack we were making with our charge, that's what we're looking at here. A d6 plus your strength, bludgeoning, and it's strength based. I think that's totally fine, totally legit. Now, as we mentioned earlier, almost, or as far as I've seen, all of the new versions for these natural weapons, natural unarmed strike kind of things, these built-in like body attacks, they're all d6s now. Most of them used to be a d4, and then some special ones like the Minotaur, like that was a d6. So that was cool, and I'm okay with a d6. The only problem I really have with the d6 is that I'm really hoping still that when we do a revamp of the monk with our 5e evolution or whatever, I have to assume that's going to bump up the base from a d4 to a d6, so you can at least be as strong as a horse foot. Natural affinity. Your Fey connection to nature gives you an intuitive connection to the natural world and the animals within it. You therefore have proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: animal handling, medicine, nature, or survival. Cool. I'm always going to be on board with skills, especially when I do think they've done a great job here of explaining why you're getting these skills. It's not just that your whole race is good at lying or something, so you get deception. Like that that's where I think we're trying to get away from. Here, it's your entire race has this magical part of it built into it, and that manifests as this skill. And so that skill is just a way to represent that magical connection rather than like explicitly that skill, I think. So that's cool. All right. So do you want to play a half horse person? is there a half cow person? I know a lot of you flavor furbalgs as cow, and I think that comes from Critical Role, but I don't think that's the standard furbalg. Call that the Exandrian furbalg. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be a big Centaur fan for player races. But again, if you want to play one, cool. If somebody at my table wants to play it, cool. Me personally, I don't think I would ever pick that unless we were doing like a themed one shot or something. Okay, so whatever. That's the Centaur. Stay tuned. We're going to have more videos. Please subscribe. Join us over discord.gg/FryMinis. We're going to keep them coming.